Olá, sou a Mariana Alvim, bem-vindos ao Vale a Pena, o meu podcast onde conhecemos as pessoas enquanto leitores, com o apoio da UC, a maior livraria online portuguesa. Fiquem por aí, vale a pena.
Today I have with me Giulia Caminito, an Italian writer born in Rome, and she lives there. She grew up in a family of bibliophiles. Her parents were librarians. So that's when you discovered your love for books. She studied political philosophy and began her writing career at a young age. In addition to her work as a writer, Giulia also works as an editor and a proofreader. And her work often explores themes of identity, family, and the complexities of human relationships. She made her literary debut in 2016 with the novel La Grande A, about her family history and the Italian colonial period, which won several awards, including the Premio Berto and the Premio Baguta Opera Prima. She's written several novels, some are translated into English. Guardavamo gli altri... It's difficult for me to be... You can say the names. Welcome, Giulia.
Thank you. Guardavamo gli altri ballare il tango, la ballerina e il marinaio e un giorno verrà.
Wow. And recently arrived to Portugal with L'Acqua del Lago non è ma dolce, Água do Lago, nunca è doce. It's a beautiful book. It was shortlisted for the Italian Literary Prize Premio Strega, won the alternative Premio Strega off, and the prestigious Premio Campiello, became a bestseller in Italy. It was translated into over 20 languages and also now in Portuguese. You want me to tell you, first of all, congratulations on this beautiful book. It's my first read from your work, so it won't be the last. And
I hope so.
Yeah, of course. And you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'm glad that it was translated in Portuguese as well. L'acqua del lago non è mai dolce is a novel about a young girl named Gaia, and she lived in a family. There is a family that has a lot of economical problems, and the main focus of the family is Antonia, her mother. And Gaia struggled a lot to find her own identity and to navigate her adolescence. And she became quite frightening, violent and aggressive with her own friends. And yes, it's a book about failure and about frustration, and it's based in the early 2000s. And so there are a lot of changing in that period about technology and about mass media and about fast fashion. And Gaia, she feels like she's not competing in this era with all the other girls and boys. So
even if she wanted to, she couldn't.
She couldn't. Yes,
like the clothes she inherited from her older brother.
Mariano. Yeah, it's her family financial situation. It's complex, and it's not easy to have all these things and to be fashionable when you have a lot of economical problems. So this is something that she rejects, and something that is really important for a mother to care about the essential things and not the luxurious things.
Yeah, it's also a message also. But, I wanted to cuddle her. I wanted to put her in my lap and spoil her. Not too much, but she wouldn't let me, but a little. And I also would love to meet Antonia. She's a secondary character, but she's also a main character. You have like two huge and very strong female characters here, and matriarch, and I understand her. I love Antonia and I feel for her.
Yeah, I love Antonia too, I have to say, because Antonia is one of the strongest character I haven't written.
Yeah, the mother.
But she's on the other side. It's difficult to have her in your life because she knows everything that it's right to do. She really thinks that she wants things for Gaia and for her future and for the other children, and she knows better It's like it's really difficult for a young girl to have a mother that is so tough and
Not open to dialogue.
not so open to dialogue. Exactly. They have a lot of problem of communication during the book, because Gaia is getting worse and is getting violent and aggressive more and more, but Antonia doesn't know anything about it. And it's like they are not communicating so well, and Antonia is like, you have to study, you have to prepare yourself for the real life.
Yeah, don't make the mistakes I did.
Don't make the mistakes that I did. I became mother when I was really young, and I couldn't study, and she's a housekeeper, so she wants for her daughter a better life and a better future, and it's something that we can understand, of course.
Yeah.
But on the other side, Gaia is like, I want my future and I want to understand myself, and I feel like frustrated from your perception of me.
Yeah, so strict. So, yeah. I have two sentences that I chose because they're beautiful. Only two, and they are in Portuguese. But all of Giulia books are translated into English. So who wants to read more and can't, like me, read in Italian, we have translations for the others. So here in Água do Lago, nunca doce, I chose two sentences. 3 nunca foi o meu número preferido. Faz-me logo sentir desconfortável, habituado aos números elevados, às famílias com 5 elementos no mínimo, às jantaradas onde alguém grita, sei bem que nos quartos se chora. E quando só ouço silêncio, assusto-me. Did you recognize the sentence?
I think it's the part when she said that she doesn't like the number 3.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel comfortable to be in a triangle with other friends. It's something that I relate a lot. Like,
Yeah.
this is a part that's really autobiographical, because I have a lot of problems when I was younger to stay in this groups of 3, and every time with my girlfriends I would feel like a little bit jealous of the dynamics. So I want to talk in this book a lot about friendships between girls or between a girl and a boy. So this is an important sentence for me. It's like the number 3, that she feels really uncomfortable in the number of 3.
Yeah, and the detail that she's used to. She has three brothers. So she says at dinner time, someone is yelling, you only cry in your room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because her family is really noisy, of course. There are a lot of people and they argue a lot, like between Antonia and her brother Mariano. There are a lot of yelling and conversation aloud. So she's like used to this kind of situations.
Yeah, of nice. Big families. And there's only one last sentence I would like to read. She says, tenho sempre frio e sono e fome de apreço, necessidade de que ninguém se esqueça de mim, vontade de me apresentar e repetir, estou aqui, estou aqui, estou aqui.
Yes, this is a part that is really important for Gaia, because she's like, I want to be seen. I'm here, I want to be seen. But she feels like no one can see her really and deeply. So it's everything about this book is about how many possibilities we have to build ourselves and to feel comfortable with ourselves. And Gaia doesn't. So it's complicated for her to become an adult, to finish her younger ages in a good mood.
Yeah, she feels transparent.
Yeah, she feels transparent, not seen, and with all the needs that she feels that are really important for her. So there are a lot of pages about all these conversations that Gaia has with herself. She's really judgy. She's really loud. She uses a lot of strange words, because her mother gave her a dictionary for. It's the first book that she gave her. So she's like uses a lot of strange words to, I think, to express herself better and to feel better about how many things she knows.
Yeah. And the translation is great by Vasco Gatto, your translator. So when you say those difficult words or different words, you understand everything is very well translated. And the thing you said is very important because throughout the book, I wondered, is this fictional? Is this autobiography? And you mentioned it earlier. And so it's very important, the note that you write in the end, because there's also a homenage here to Iris, the character, of course, and they're a little bit of you, not the aggressive part, but yeah. So we have a little bit of Giulia within Gaia.
Yes, of course. I decided to put that note in a provocative way somehow, because right now in Italy all the published industry is so focused on autofiction and autobiography and memoirs and biographies as well, and I think that novels and fictions have a lot of power remained, and we need to continue this journey with all the things that we can invent in our books. So, of course, there are things that are about me and things from me. In every book that I write, there are a lot of things about me. But in this case, I'm not Gaia, even if I use a first person. So the first person here for me is just a narrative position. So, and I want to continue use different first person in maybe future books, but they are not me, and this is important to say, I think.
And I'm happy for that.
Yes, because first times, even if I wrote the note, like some people came to me and like, are you fine? Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? Or are you feeling a little nervous? And I was like, no, I feel okay. I'm not nervous.
You're not daughter of Antonio.
No, I'm not going to punch you in the face in any moment.
Yeah, don't be scared of me.
Don't be scared of me.
So, A Água do Lago Nunca é Doce, da Giulia Caminito, que recomendo. I recommend.
So in quick questions, I'm trying something new here in this podcast. 3 things you like. You said chinotto, small bookshops, and dancing on my own.
Allora, chinotto is a beverage.
I went to
in Italy.
I have to check it. Citrus fruit, dark, a bittersweet, and its origin was in China. And it was brought to Italy from a sailor in the 16th century.
I really love that drink. It's without alcohol, and it's really close to Coca-Cola, but it's more spicy, I think.
Okay.
It's flavorful, and I will really like the Lurisia one, which is a more biological.
Okay, that's a brand.
So it's a brand.
Okay,
it's super nice, and it's super nice with like ice and lemon in the summertime. Maybe during an aperitivo, if you don't want a spritz or a prosecco, you can take that if you're in Italy.
Okay, I have to try that one. So Chinotto. And small bookshops, of course.
Of course.
And dancing on your own. When do you do that? You have to be alone?
Yeah, I studied dance, classical dance and contemporary when I was in my 20s, until I was 25, I think. But then I decided not to do that in a professional way because I want to write. So I changed my career somehow. And right now I prefer to dance when I'm alone in my own house. I put music and then I dance.
But you dance you dance in style. I imagine disco night, I'm alone and I'm gonna, throw away the couch and dance on the floor. No, it's more.
No, I do some
elegant.
pirouettes and I do some things. Of course, they are not perfect. This is why I will do this on my own.
Pirouettes. Wow. Yeah, you're an athlete, acrobat. So 2 things you don't like: Giorgia Meloni and hiking.
Yes, like Giorgia Meloni is the prime minister in Italy.
Yeah, the first woman,
but I really don't like her. I don't like her ideas and how she's working in the government. And I think on one side it's good that a woman is in that position because it's like we can't go back. It's like a first thing and we need to for the future. But of course she's not a feminist. She's not interested in the things that are important for me right now. So I really don't like her. And hiking is because it's so frustrating somehow. And right now in Italy, everybody's hiking. For first dates, we're going to the mountains. And it's like, no, thank you. I want a theater. I want the old-fashioned cinema, the old-fashioned, I don't know, passeggiata or just walking in the city. That's better for me.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. It was great. Now, the books you loved reading, and despite, well, you don't like to hike, you like to dance, but when are you able to read?
Yeah, I prefer to read before I go to bed. In my own bed, when I'm like, it's really nice and important because your mind is setting for a good night, and it's not like scrolling on your iPhone or on the computer. It's like in a different mood. So right now, this is what I'm used to before bed.
Yeah, great. You know, despite different stories, your book, actually, Água, Lago, nunca, Doce, reminded me of another book. And it was funny because you chose it. It reminded me of Las Primas, As Primas by Aurora Venturini. It's not the same. But do you understand why I say this? I don't know. It's the narrator, the inner...
Yeah, the inner voice, the inner thoughts, and all the jokes that she makes with words. And it's a great book.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's crazy, it's full of rhythm. It's amazing. I really love the book.
Yeah, I love it too. And we have it in Portugal. I recommend. I've mentioned it here, I think, once or twice. As Primas by Aurora Venturini. Do you remember the story?
Yeah, it's
Giulia and Bettina.
It's really complicated story, but it's like there are a few cousins, and somehow they lived in a very strange condition. Like one of them is on a wheelchair, the other one is a painter, but she tells us the story like she's a baby sometimes, like she's a child, and it's like there are a lot of sexual situations, a lot of violence even, but everything is told like in a very comical way,
and
brutal on the same level. Yes, brutal and comical. It's like you laugh and then you can feel the pain and the tragedy in the background, but it's really like you can write about completely crazy things, but the way you choose to write about it, this is literature completely. Like everything can be elevated to another level, I think.
She's raw and honest, and I found that about your book as well, about your writing as well. So
I'm really glad about this parallel. Thank you.
So Aurora Venturini, she was an Argentine writer. She wrote more than 30 books, including novels and poetry and essays. And in the beginning of her career as a writer, she won the Prémio Iniciación from Jorge Luis Borges in 1948. But then she wrote like more than 30 books. And then only with Las Primas, she got finally the success she deserved.
Yes, it's a really nice story, I think.
Yeah.
And she feels really fresh when you read Las Primas. It's like this is a young writer, you know. And she was like in their 80s, I think.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. It's like the age doesn't matter. It's like you write as you like in every age, and it's not that the point.
Yeah, she was a young older woman.
Yes.
And she worked as an advisor at the Institute of the Child Psychology and Re-Education, where she met and befriended, of course, Eva Perón. They were friends, and she taught philosophy also. And then after the military takeover in Argentina in 1955, she self-exiled to Paris, where she lived for 25 years.
I went to Argentina 2 years ago for a literary residency, and I was reading Aurora Venturini during those days, and I don't know, I felt her a lot, like staying in all these places, knowing better Argentinian history. So it's a really big figure, I think.
Wow, yeah, she is. She also translated and wrote critical essays on poets like Rimbaud and her translator earned her the Iron Cross decoration from the French government. She was super awarded. She looks like a late bloomer, but she's not at all. She wrote a lot. She wrote a lot.
Yeah, she was a translator, and it's not like translating from French. It's an easy thing when you translate poetry. Like she was
Especially Rimbaud.
Especially Rimbaud, exactly.
Yeah.
So from a voice of a woman. So I think she was extraordinary. Her career, her life, and how she navigates all the historical and political problem in Argentina that were really tough.
Yeah. Aurora Venturini with Exprimes. Another book you chose, we don't have it in Portugal, but we have it in English. So it's Liliana's Invincible Summer, El Invencible Verano de Liliana. You read it in Spanish as well?
No, I read it in Italian because all these three books are published by the same publishing house in Italy, and they publish just Hispanical novels and writers, and it's called Sur, the publishing house in Italy.
Okay, so it's a memoir. It was winner of the Pulitzer Prize, National Book Award finalist, the New York Times, Washington Post, Time, and New Yorker Book of the Year, and it has a lot of prizes. So let's begin with yours. But it's sad.
I met the author. I met Cristina Rivera Garza in Rome. We made an event at a feminist bookshops that is called Tuba, and there were so many people, like all over in the street, like hundreds of people for her, because this book became really important in Italy the last year, because we have a lot of feminicide in Italy, cases of young girls, and it was really rushed, really difficult, and a lot of course, of literary figures were trying to use the right words to talk about feminicide. And this book, it's the perfect way to use literature to tell a memoir, but it's not just a memoir. It's the story of a young girl with a lot of dreams, and that was killed by her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, it was her sister, the author's sister. There was this expression, I can't find it, but I remember. So her sister, before getting killed, she had this high school boyfriend who chased her and that didn't let her live her life. And she once decided I'm an invincible summer. And I love this expression. Like, I want to live, I want to study, and then she was murdered by her boyfriend. And she only 29 years later did her sister write this story about Mexicans' feminicide also.
It's crazy. During that period, of course, the word feminicide didn't exist. And this is a part important of the reconstruction of Cristina Rivera Garza, because she wrote in the book that just with the right words, you can understand what is happening in reality, and you can talk about it in the proper way. So this is why after 30 years he decided to open the box of Liliana's life, because it's a book about life in the end. It's not a book about death. It's a book about Liliana and the fact that she loved poetry, that she was studying architecture, that she had a lot of friends, that she was in love, that she wanted to live, just to be free. And at some point, without any sense, this boyfriend decided that she wasn't allowed to live her own life. So this is and he ran away. Like he was persecuted for a lot of time, but they couldn't find him. And in the end, Cristina found the guy, and he was he died for the COVID-19. Like I think one of the best things that the COVID-19 did was to kill this boy, this man.
Yeah, she said that. She said, I seek justice. That's why even 29 years later, I want to write this book and seek justice. And it was a huge, even in Mexico, it was very important. And in your book as well, we don't have femicide, but we have you have an homage also to a girl you've known in Italy that was murdered. So it makes a lot of sense, your choices and your book. They're all the same message.
Yeah, that story that I wrote in the note in the end, it's a real story. And I don't know, I feel so sad and so deeply moved by all these terrible femicide stories that are happening in Italy. And for me, it's really important to continue to talk about it and to talk about all these girls and their own life and how they perceive themselves.
Yeah, and you said a great sentence. It's not about death, it's about life, their lives.
Yeah, it's completely about their life.
Yeah, amazing. So, El Invencible Verano de Liliana, Liliana's Invincible Summer, we hope it arrives in Portugal, by Cristina Rivera Garza. Now, another Cristina, Cristina Peri Rossi, El Museo de los Esfuerzos Inútiles, the Museum of Useless Efforts. It's a collection of short stories.
Yes. It's a collection of completely different and crazy and creative short stories, like with surreal sometimes. It's like the typical surrealism that you are prepared for someone from Latin America and Spain and all this kind of literature that I really love. And so it's a collection. In some part you're going to laugh, in other you're going to be shocked. It's funny, but on the other side, it's really intelligent, I think. They're full of really intelligent ideas, and all the short stories, they are really made in the proper way. Like you finish the short story and there is always something that is changing in the final 3 or 4 lines, and that gonna make sense of the short story in the end.
Great. The Museum of Useless Efforts. It's a collection, there you go, of short stories that invites readers to pause and reflect on the often futile efforts of humanity. And the stories explore themes of love, exile, and the search for meaning in a world filled with absurdities. And I also related this one with your book. The messages or the motivation is the same, the mission.
Yeah, to find a proper sense in a lot of absurdities. Of course, in this collection, the absurdities are really absurd, and so they are like crazy and completely impossible sometimes. But I think that the absurdities that we have around us in our normal lives are the same level of complexity. So yeah, I really feel this book.
The Museum of Useless Efforts. Cristina Peri Rossi, she's from Uruguay, but then she moved to Spain where she lived ever since. She still lives there, and she was born into a family of Italian immigrants. That's why
we have a lot of connection with Latin America, and I think that Italians really need to study more about these connections with other countries. This is something that I really feel.
Okay, and she has received several literary awards, including the prestigious Miguel de Cervantes Prize in 2020. And she has other books, The Ship of Fools and A Forbidden Passion. So Cristina Peri Rossi with the Museum of Useless Efforts. I'm going to buy that one. Now, a difficult question, or not. Mm-hmm. Las Primas, Liliana's Invincible Summer, the Museum of Useless Efforts. Choose one.
Liliana. I will always choose Liliana.
Yeah, the sister of Cristina Rivera Garza.
Because I really felt deeply moved by this book and by Cristina in person. It was an honor for me to have a conversation with her, and she's great. She's an amazing person, and I hope that she's going to continue her career in the same way she does.
And have you given her your book?
No, because I feel a little bit shy. No, I think it's not really nice that you are like interviewing someone at some point. Yeah. This is my book, please read it. So
you're right.
It would be nice for me to have like her own opinion about my book. But on the other side, it's like we were talking about Liliana, and that was important for me.
Now, of course, you have to be subtle.
Yes, exactly.
So in the end, I have a surprise. I have a book for you.
Oh.
So I would like you to meet some Portuguese authors. And it's not that seldom that we have them translated. So I got this. They're translated into English. And it's a short story it's a celebration of 6 remarkable Portuguese women writers. So we have Sofia de Melo Breiner Anderson. She's a poet also. She was a poet. Agostina Bessa-Luís, Maria Judite de Carvalho, Hélia Correia, Teolinda Gerção, and Lídia Jorge. So they are all past mistresses of the short story form, and their subject matter ranges from like finding one's inner fox to a failed suicide attempt to a grandmother and grandson battling the wind on a beach. You have different stories and different styles, but what they have in common is like their ability to take everyday life and look at it fresh. And there's mystery and there's humor and there's sometimes tragedy. And I would like you, if you want to read, you have 6 amazing Portuguese authors to get to know.
Thank you so much. I just know Maria Judite de Carvalho, and there's so many people. Mariana, which is one of my favorite short story, I have to say.
Which
this
one?
Is the only one. Tanta gente Mariana.
Ah, so many people. See, from
That
Maria
one.
Judite de Carvalho.
I just know this one, but the others, I don't know them, and I want to
great.
know them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you so much for coming here. It was a pleasure.
For me as well. Thank you again.
Thank you, and for our listeners, a Água do Lago nunca é doce, by Giulia Caminito. Obrigada por estarem aí e até para a semana.